It's Friday morning and the time is nearly 10 o'clock here in Catalonia, Spain. We're expecting the first cars to be out on track soon for today's practice session.
How's it going, guys? It is Ryan and welcome to the very first episode, well, part 0 of our F1 2015 career mode as ourselves. It has been a long time coming, this has, since the last race we did in Bahrain on 2014 in the Ferrari. I just stepped away a bit, was a bit busy with uni and just didn't have time to commit to that series. And then when the game came out in 2015, it wasn't that great to play on for me personally. So I decided to just have a little break, wait for the patches to come out. And the game is deemed fair for me to drive offline. So, and I wanted to get a career mode out for you guys. So we are now doing a career mode as ourselves. As you can see, we're in the Red Bull once again. And we're going to try and win the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship as well in one season. It's going to be very tricky considering that the Mercedes are very quick on this game, so it's going to be very difficult, but we're going to give it our best shot. But we're here in Spain for pre-season testing, and we're on our out lap at the minute just to get a bit of a feel for the car and the setup. And straight off the bat, as you saw there, the tyres are not getting up to temperature, mainly due to the tyre itself, because these are the prime tyres and they just take so long to warm up. As you can see, a bit of a lock-up as well, so they're just getting a bit cold there, so we need just to get a feel for it, get the setup going on the, but it's just really just to get a feel for it. But whilst we're doing an installation, I'm just going to go through what's going to be happening with this series, and it's going to be 50% races, as it always is on Championship mode on 2015. It's go a bit sideways there, a bit funny, but yeah, it's going to be 50% races. Most of the races will be highlighted videos of around about 10 to 15 minutes, and then the special races like I'm doing for the 1997 career mode, which will work alongside this series, will be live on Twitch. So make sure, guys, to follow my Twitch channel. It's in the link in the description below, and follow me on Twitter as well, when I will tweet out when I go live as well, and I'll be doing giveaways as such on some of the episodes, so please make sure to head over to the Twitch channel and give it a like as well. But as you can see, we're just going to feel for it. We're going to go back into the box now to complete our installation lap, which has been a bit of a mixed bag for us on there. Going on with the rules, and a lot of you will know me, I drive with no assists, and that will be the case once again. No assists means no traction control, no ABS, no gear change help and all that, whatever it is. And we're going to have realistic damage and everything really. And the AI, as always, are legendary, just to make it a bit harder for ourselves, especially in a Red Bull, just to make it a bit difficult for us, but I like the challenge anyway for you guys to enjoy. So we did our installation app, and we're just going back into the box, and the engineer's doing a good job there, just getting the tyres in their blankets as we settle down. Our next stage of testing will be a race run with the prime tyre, which will be interesting, and we make some slight setup changes as well, nothing too major, just increasing the tyre pressure to the tad there. And it's getting a bit brighter as well, as Hamilton sets the quickest time of testing with a 1:25, which isn't too bad for us. So just going out the final corner there, just getting a bit of a tank slapper there, but nothing too serious, as we've got a Mclaren behind us who's going to try and overtake us, but I'd highly doubt that considering he's in a Honda engine powered Mclaren. So on this, it's Jenson Button actually just looked for a move there, but the speed of our Red Bull is just too quick for the McLaren there. As we go through turn 1 and 2, not too bad there, just a bit of oversteer to push us out wide. And I do apologise as well for the steam overlay at the bottom right hand to pop up. Hopefully in the next episode I'll get that sorted, if not it will be definitely out for episode 2 on there. We just break a bit late for turn 4, so I just need to take into consideration when we go on to our qualifying run later on in the session, as we get a bit of a slide there, but nothing too serious on there, with Button right behind us on there. So we're just setting there, so we just lose the back end once again, but nothing too serious, as I mentioned, as this part of the lap is very dark, I must say, so we need to take that consideration going in for the later in the session, if it's going to rain or not. But we're 2 seconds off Hamilton's time, but obviously we're all running race fuel and we're on the prime tyres, so we need to really not think about Hamilton's time at the minute. Just need to get the car settled, see how we go, on our way as we come into the last sector. Just locking up the front right a bit, nothing too big on there, and again locking up, missing the apex of the chicane in this last sector on there. So as Button pits, we'll be going on to our next lap, and it's a 27.2 is our lap, 2 seconds off. So we were quicker than the Mercedes in the last sector, obviously, but the Red Bull is considered quick in that last sector for all the corners. So with the aerodynamics we're running on this car, it's not too bad. As Daniel Ricciardo is in P5 in testing, so not too bad for the Red Bull guys. We've got Massa and Perez around us in terms of position there, and we've gained 2.5 tenths in the first sector, but we just go a bit wide at 4. I'm just losing the back end, but we're only 2 tenths off Hamilton in the first sector, which is quite good for us on these prime tyres, where Hamilton, I believe, is running a race run on the option tyre. As again, we lose the back end there, so nothing really there. As the engineers informing us about the fuel situation of the car on there as we get the DRS. So we're going to do some DRS testing now, just in case in the race we get a feel for overtaking anyone at this corner, and we lose 4 tenths in the middle sector, but obviously due to that mistake at 4, we just brought the gap to 2 seconds again on there. But we'll see if we can get any more time in this last sector if we can, as we come into that final couple of corners now on there, and we get it right for a change there, which is fantastic to see. And we get the actual exit as well perfectly, as we're going to come across the line now. Are we going to improve on a 27.2? The answer is yes. It's a 26.2, a second gained, and we're only a second behind Hamilton in the timesheets, with Ricciardo just ahead of us there as we're going to go past Nico Rosberg. But we will be, the pace wasn't really the same as much after that, as we're going to be going now, going to be skipping forward towards the next part of testing for us, which was the race running of the medium tyre, or the soft tyre for this part. So nothing serious as I mentioned. Just lose the back end there, as we're going to be starting our first lap, as we just get a lot of oversteer on that exit there, as we're going to come across the line and start our first lap on the medium tyres on there, as our engineer has just informed us we are losing time in the middle sector, which is obviously the big thing we need to focus on for next time. As we just go a bit wide out of the exit of 2 there, as we go into 3 here. I had to shift down to 5th gear there, which I didn't really want to do, but we're going to come across the line now for the first sector, and we're up by a tenth and a bit as we go very wide, and we brake really late, but we're only 7/100ths of Hamilton in the first sector, so not too bad for us with the package we've got for the season in the Red Bull. It's going to be very difficult, but we'll see how we go as we continue on towards this middle part of the lap. And the main part here was to see if we can gain some time, and we actually get that corner sort of right, not 100% perfect, but around about 70-80% there. Just lost the back end a bit there. Getting the DRS, as Vettel now goes quickest with a 25.2, and we're only 1/100th of a second off Vettel's time, which was quite surprising on there. So I was quite happy with the pace we have at the minute, as we're just going to go round this long right-hander in the final sector, as this, as I said earlier in the video, this is where we are quickest on the track than any other car. So quite happy really with that confidence boost, and saving a bit of tyres as well with the good traction. But we're calling out the final corner once again, and we're going to be crossing the line now. It's going to be a 24.7 to go quickest in the session by quite a margin as well. So I was quite happy with that, with our race running here, as we go into turn 1 once again. As we've got Ricciardo just ahead of us there, as the yellow dot indicates is our teammate. Just try to stay in 5th gear and then put 100% throttle, but we go wide and lose a bit of time, but not too much, as we're 4 tenths quicker than our best lap in the first sector. So I was very happy with that, with the pace we've got here, as it's actually, I think that's Raikkonen ahead of us actually. So Raikkonen, Vettel's teammate, will be maybe holding us up a bit on there, but we're just going to see what we can do with this. As Hamilton sets us 24.746, so he goes 3/100ths quicker than us on this lap alone, as we get the DRS once again, as we're up by 8 tenths of a second now. So once the tyres got to temperature, we just go a bit wide on the hairpin there, but we just about get away with it, but losing just a tad bit of time, as it is indeed Raikkonen just ahead of us there. Just go a bit wide out of this course as we enter the final part of this lap, and Raikkonen could be a factor here you're just ruining the lap a bit there. So we have to wait and see. Taking a bit of curb there on entry, which is very aggressive from us. As we just get a bit of dirty air from Raikkonen, just pushing us out a bit wide on there. But this will be a 23.4 as we go quicker than him by 1.3 seconds in Hamilton. And we get a bit of draft as well from Raikkonen, but nothing too much as we get right onto the back of the Ferrari now. As our fuel starts to burn quite frequently actually. As we just lifts off there, getting the dirty air from our teammate, and we get it as well. Going to the back of him there as he's on the prime tyre, so that's probably why he's going a bit slow for us. As we're just down by a tenth really, so that little bit of contact with Raikkonen there costing us a bit of time, but nothing too much as we're going to be braking now as we've got a Manor in front of us who's holding up our teammate of Daniel Ricciardo. So this is what we've got to be coping with throughout the season, these Manors, because they're not the quickest on this game, so going to be passing them quite a few bit of times during the races that we've got coming up. As we take a massive corner cut there, but nothing really too serious there. But it's Roberto Merri actually is going to try and go around the outside of the Marussia and follow our teammate, which we do so as Merri is on the prime tyre as well, which is obviously not what we wanted to see, as Ricciardo there is on the medium tyre, is on the primes as well. So we know that as he's just holding us up a bit there, so nothing too big I will say, but I think he's going to go into the pits, which he does so, which will give us a nice clean run out of the final corner to start another lap of the session, and it's a 25 flat being held up there, so not what we wanted, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be coming in now into this turn one on there, and we had some reports of rain coming in for the last few minutes of the session, around about the last 10-15 minutes of the session, so I had to think about when to pit for when the rain does come, and we'll have to wait and see really. So we're 10th down in the first sector, so the tyres are starting to get a bit of degradation on us now, which is obviously what we wanted to test in Spain, to see what the tyre wear is like with the setup we're running. It's a bit of an aggressive setup as well with high downforce, which is obviously what you need around Spain. So we get a beautiful exit there in the middle part of this lap, with this long right-hander coming up now, where the DRS is implemented on there. So we're going to be coming down. What is our time? 3 tenths down on this lap, and we will be boxing this lap as we just see some signs that it is going to rain, and I didn't really want to go back out on track again. I think we've got enough valuable data on us to really not consider the rain and go out and do a wet running. So we'll be boxing this time as we have a massive tank slapper at the last corner. So we'll be boxing this time, and it will be the end of our session for us. Our winter testing is over and done with, and we'll be taking this very happily actually. The pace is pretty good, so I'm very happy to see that, as we'll just show you the results of practice. And we were quickest by 3 tenths of a second from Nico Rosberg and Hamilton, who are both in the Mercedes on the option tyres, or the white striped tyre, with Kimi Raikkonen in 4th, beating Vettel by a second actually. So maybe we might be quicker than the Ferrari this season. We'll have to wait and see. And the Williams as well, with our teammate down in 8th place, with Grosjean 9th and NASA in the Sauber completing the top 10 on there. So that's been winter testing, guys, and the next episode will be the first round of our 2015 career mode as ourselves, where we'll be heading to Australia for the first race. And if you guys want to see the first episode up as soon as possible, if we get 100 likes on this episode, then I will immediately make the first episode public, as I've already got it scheduled ready to upload for a certain date. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled out for that, guys. But until episode 1, guys, hope you have a fantastic day whatever you're doing, and make sure to subscribe for the F1 career mode on a F1 1997 career mode and this player career mode. But until next time, guys, have a fantastic day, and I shall see you guys for episode 1 in Australia. Until then, see you later, guys, and have a good day.